Top best isekai manhwas you're missing out on. The Twin Siblings' New Life. The Twin Siblings' New Life, another wholesome one, I'd say. The story is based on a twin brother and sister who die in a car accident and are reincarnated in another world. However, after being reincarnated, their life becomes even more difficult as they have to live with an abusive mother and cold-blooded emperor father. I have a question here. Why are emperor fathers always kinda abusive in manhwas? Are emperors really that bad? I wonder. Anyways, this manhwa describes the journey of these two as they strive to survive in this cruel world. The art style is amazing and the pacing is as well. You should really give it a try. Global martial arts, alternate reality. What else do you want? It features an Earth where people are obsessed with martial arts. I'd surely want to go there, even though I don't even know the ABC of martial arts. Yes, you guessed it right. This manhwa is about an alternate world where people are pretty obsessed with martial arts and their lives depend on it. Like, for other isekai protagonists, this world is like a game where the MC can level up and get stronger. The art style is great and the story gets better with time. Strongest Caveman. A primitive world with no technological advancement and superpowers surely piques my interest. The MC of this manhwa is quite unsurprisingly an engineer. Well, it does make sense. You'll definitely need an engineer in the primitive world. However, that is not it. The engineer is also quite strong as he awakens his otherworldly powers at an early age. The comedy in this manhwa is also top tier and the story is pretty well balanced. If I tell you myself, I really like these kinda mangas and manhwas. So, I personally suggest this one. Volcanic Age. Volcanic Master is another great addition to this list. Just like the Scholar's Reincarnation, the story is kinda basic yet not predictable. It will keep you on the edge of your seat. The story is about a guy named Ju Seo-chun, who leads a life full of sorrow after surviving a war by sheer luck. Just when he thought his life is about to end, he is reincarnated as his child self. This provides him with an opportunity to relive his life using his knowledge. This manhwa is a great read if you're here for the story. I personally suggest it. The Scholar's Reincarnation. Now we present you with another great yet kinda predictable isekai manhwa. The Scholar's Reincarnation is based on the story of a martial artist who died in a suicide blast and gets reincarnated in another world. After getting reincarnated, he vows to live a peaceful life and protect his beloved sister. The plot is kinda basic and can get a little boring, but the art style makes up for it. The fight scenes, too, are amazing and mesmerizing. It's a pretty decent read for isekai lovers. Trinity Wonder. Another treat for shonen fans here. Trinity Wonder is another manhwa with a great art style and story. Magicians and cultivators, in a modern world, surrounded by modern weapons. Sounds pretty interesting, right? The MC, Gang Woo-ji, is a great martial artist who continues his journey in the modern world with a magician, Emily. Their adventures are the real thing here and comical relief is amazing too. You should really give it a try if you're a shonen fan. Tales of Demons and Gods. Now, here's a manhwa for typical shonen fans. The plot is kinda similar to Naruto and generic. Still, the great set of characters and amazing art style make it a great read. The story begins with Lee realizing that he is alive and kinda traveled back in time before he was nearly killed. This provides him with the opportunity to save the world from the terrible future awaiting and of course save the girl he likes. Well, it is kinda necessary for the plot. Anyways, it's a great read. The politics and the world building make it even more amazing. My wife is a demon queen. Demon queen is your wife. Sounds pretty amazing, right? What's more, she's a tsundere. Alf. However, this all comes with a cost, and that is, you are powerless. Literally powerless, in a world of demons and powerful beings. This is the story of RMC, Xingyi, who was suddenly reincarnated to another world. There, he develops a good relationship with the demon queen, who was betrayed by her husband and dethroned. Both of them then help each other in gaining what they desire. This marks the beginning of the journey of Xingyi and his wife, the demon queen. This manhwa sure is quite popular and is a great read. The Descent of the Demonic Master. I'm a hardcore fan of unique isekai mangas, manhwas, and the Descent of the Demonic Master easily fits into this category. This manhwa involves double reincarnation, which is pretty unique and interesting in my opinion. Leading a peaceful life after being reincarnated is quite difficult. The MC, Gang Jinyo, loses his legs and family in an accident. All of these events lead to him committing suicide and being reincarnated. This was the first reincarnation. The second one is after he gets betrayed by his loved one and yet again commits suicide. In his third attempt at life, he wishes to live a peaceful life without any hassle. However, this proves quite difficult for him as troubles always follow him. The concept of double reincarnation is quite rare, so I think you should give this one a read. The Gamer. Now, here's a treat for Sword Art Online fans. This manhwa is quite similar to the famous Sao. However, in this manhwa characters don't get stuck in some game. The MC, Hanji Han, suddenly gains the capability to level up in real life. All of this seems pretty fun, right? Gaining abilities and stuff. However, this makes life quite difficult for him. A manhwa like this won't be complete without an evil organization that is behind all this. This manhwa also introduces other gamers with unique abilities as the story progresses, so it's a great read. You should definitely really give it a try. The Road Karma. As I stated earlier, most people suffering from some disease or difficulties in life dream of getting a new life. This manhwa has a similar premise. It is based on the story of a guy suffering from cancer. One day, after falling through a mana hole, he gets a whole new life. He, in his new life, is the great warrior Karma and is quite healthy. I won't spoil it further for you, so just relax and give it a read. I'm sure it will be a pleasant journey. Lady Baby. Continuing our list, here we have another interesting story. Traveling back to the time when everything was right, I guess everyone wants a chance like this. Lady Baby is a story about a young girl who gets a chance to relive her life and correct everything. She tries her best to lead a peaceful and happy life as everyone would, duh. A little spice of romance makes this manhwa even more interesting. The Abandoned Empress. The Abandoned Empress is not your everyday isekai as it does not involve the typical reincarnation. However, it involves time travel. It follows the story of a lady who is destined to become the queen of the country. However, things didn't go as smoothly as she thought they would and she was killed before she could take the throne. Much to her surprise, she was alive and had traveled back in time, 7 years before the incident. This gives RMC, Arischa, a chance to discover what went wrong and improve her mistakes. Empress of Another World. We have on our list the Empress of Another World. The plot might seem a bit generic with a high school student getting into some accident and of course, gets isekai'd to another world. Most of the main characters, after being teleported, get some crazy power-ups and usually join a guild to defeat the demon lord. However, that is not the case with Empress of Another World. In this story, the MC is ordered to become the Emperor's concubine. Now, most of you probably guess what's going to happen, don't you? The Emperor dies and pretty unsurprisingly, the MC becomes a candidate for the throne. That's it, I guess. I don't want to further spoil it for you. The art style and character development are amazing, so you should really give it a try. Cultivator against Hero Society. Cultivator versus Heroes. I guess this is what the name of this manhwa suggests. Heroes are usually the strongest beings in the world. However, against this cultivator, they are pretty powerless. Surprisingly, the cultivator is not interested in fights and just wants to figure out where he is. I'm always in search of unique isekai manhwas. I mean, most of them have similar storylines and it gets kinda boring. Cultivator against Hero Society is another manhwa that I consider pretty unique. You don't see such matchups pretty often, so don't miss out on this manhwa. Daughter of the Emperor. At this point, you might be wondering, aren't there too many emperors and empresses in manhwas? And the answer is yes, yes there are. Third, on our list is Daughter of the Emperor, which follows the story of a woman who was isekai'd as a baby. Yes, you heard it right, as a baby and that too of an emperor. The emperor, being too cold-blooded, doesn't know how to take care of a baby and the little princess had to take care of herself. This manhwa is for you, if you're a fan of wholesome stuff. Maze Age Z. Demons. Ah. Everyone loves demons like Rem. Oh sorry, we are not supposed to talk about anime on this list. Just got kinda lost. Let's just continue the list. The next manhwa on our list is based in a fantasy world where intelligent demons are summoned to perform different chores. Demons are mostly illustrated as powerful and violent creatures. However, in this manhwa, they are portrayed quite the opposite. Intelligent. I'll just stop it here, I don't want to spoil it for you. You should really add this manhwa to your list and I bet you won't regret giving it a read. Dungeon Reset. Now this one is kinda interesting. If you're a solo leveling fan, you'll surely enjoy this one. Being reincarnated to another world is all fun and games unless you are forced to raid a dungeon alone. Yes, the MC in this manhwa surely can power up, but there are consequences, and what are those? He has to clear the dungeons all on his own. Sounds terrifying. It sure does. However, the MC continues his journey with the power-ups he gets along the way to uncover the mystery behind this strange event. Adelaide. Just imagine, you are isekai'd to another world and you don't get any crazy power-up. On top of that, nothing really happens, no monsters, no demon lord, absolutely nothing. Absolute peace. You wouldn't want this to happen, would ya? Adelaide follows the story of a girl who was isekai'd but nothing notable had happened in her life. However, everything changes as she tries to pursue a dimensional traveler. A girl named Suzanne is the dimensional traveler whom she wants to keep away from a guy named Felix who's actually a duke. Excuse me, ma'am, weren't you excited to meet the great dimensional traveler, Suzanne? Why would you go and fend her off to keep the duke you just met to yourself? Dr. Elise. Here, my fellas, is another great addition to this list. Dr. Elise. The Royal Lady with the Lamp is another manhwa related to princesses and emperors. Koreans sure love this emperor and princess culture. Dr. Elise is about an arrogant princess who gets reincarnated twice. First as a professor at a college and then as a bratty princess again, which she was before her new life as a professor. This time around, She tries to help others as a surgeon and a professor. I really love these kinds of changes in people and their struggles in improving themselves. I mean, it's really difficult to change yourself in such a short time. God bless you. This manhwa is another great addition to this list. I'll create a scenario here. You are a great bodybuilder with a great physique and everything. However, one day, when you wake up, all of your muscles are gone. I'm pretty sure you'd feel awful after all the hard work you put in. However, this is not the case with the strongest woman in the world, Shun Eun-hye. As she loses muscles, she gains beauty. This changes her life completely, as she can now date guys who were afraid of her before. Her journey continues as she tries to discover the reason behind her transformation. This manhwa has a beautiful art style, so I suggest you give it a try. The beginning after the end. From a world dominated by martial arts to a world involving monsters and magic. The transition is kinda big, isn't it? I mean, the difference sure is great. The weapons used, the power levels are totally different. The story involves King Gray, who has literally everything in the world of martial arts except self-love and will for life. After his death, he gets reincarnated into a world of monsters and magic. There, like other isekai protagonists, he tries to live a peaceful life and not repeat his past mistakes. At this point, you might be thinking, isn't the plot kinda bland? Well, the main thing about this manhwa is the portrayal of emotions and storytelling. The character development is amazing too. So, I suggest you add this to your list. Her Summon. Now, this one's a masterpiece in my opinion. The story is just too amazing and unique. Shut-in Neats being teleported to another world isn't anything new, I guess. However, what makes this manhwa unique is the transition between the real world and the isekai. This makes the manhwa even more interesting to read. Of course, I won't spoil this amazing story for you. Just give it a read yourself and you'll find yourself mesmerized. The reason why Raeliana ended up at the Duke's mansion. The reason why Raeliana ended up at the Duke's mansion, Alf. Such a long name. However, most isekais do have long titles such as That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime and many others. Can't they keep it a bit short? Anyways, I'll tell you a bit about the basic plot. This manhwa involves the story of a poor girl who was murdered by her fiancé and ended up in a duke's mansion. The duke, who is quite handsome and caring, helps the MC live her life to the best. Seems pretty wholesome. Now, this here, my fellows, is the perfect example of a title spoiling the story. Who Made Me Princess? Bedtime stories sure are great. They help in developing your relationship with your child and, of course, make them fall asleep. But these bedtime stories aren't as good as you think they are. Most of the characters in them suffer a lot. Now imagine being suddenly reincarnated to a bedtime story world. Sounds pretty fun, right? However, it's not as fun for our MC, as she knows that she is going to be killed by her father in the story. Pretty awful, isn't it? And to prevent that, she must do everything possible. It really is a great story and the character development is amazing too.